It's not, guys. I think it's here. All the way here. TEMU. We'll go. The Handpan. Check it out. All right, man. How you doing?
Good.
Appreciate you. That's it.
You have a good day.
You too, man. Thank you. Check it out. Fresh out the box. Okay, let's check this out. Bring it inside and see what we got. TEMU Handpan. $100 handpan. $100 handpan. Let's see what a $100 handpan sounds like. Together, shall we? Cute logo. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Okay, Handpan fam. Here it is. This is what I just received from UPS from China. I ordered it 8 days ago, and for full transparency, I ordered it by accident. I decided to try the whole TEMU thing, and I saw this deal for 3 free items, and got a couple handpans and some other thing, and went to go check out, and I ended up getting charged. Well, I found the cheapest handpan I could, so I think it charged me like $100 or $109 with tax. I'll put the little link here. If I can find the picture, I'll show you what it looks like right there, the actual price. So, $109 total for this handpan. You can see it's kind of spiff logo here, and it says Handpan, and it says made in China. All sorts of stickers. I have not opened this up yet, so we're going to check it out. Also, I have over here a tuning program, so we can check and see the tuning fresh out of the box and see what we come up with here. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this. I also have a pair of rhythm rests here that I'm going to use for my lap. I'm going to put these on the bottom here because these are really cool. If you ever have a chance to pick some of these up, get some rhythm rests. They're really easy. They're magnetic. They stick to the bottom of your pan. They keep them from slipping. So people with small laps and stuff. So, all right. Are you ready? Okay. For HandpanLIfe, hashtag HandpanLIfe, and for the Handpan community, we're going to see what this TEMU handpan is all about. All right, are you ready? Not opened yet. I am opening it for the first time with you. I am sharing this with you. It took about 8 days to get here. It came here pretty fast. Looks like the standard size. There's a lot of 432 pans on TEMU. I wanted to try and get a 440 if possible. And the D Kurd, which is a pretty common scale. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the box down here. I shall sit down and see what we have. All right. We have Hand Drum, initiating a deep exploration of the soul, a user manual. Every hand plate is our sincere work. Beat the meditation, the sound is beautiful. Okay, and there's various things there. Okay, and there's shows the accessories that come with it and such too. Just have to make sure I have this in frame here so y'all can read this. Yeah, I can get that pretty close. Yeah, I love this part here. Yeah. Initiating a deep exploration of the soul. Every hand plate is our sincere work. Beat the meditation. The sound is beautiful. Well, there we go. All right. Let's see what we got here. Make sure we're still, yeah, okay, good. Doing good. Put that off to the side. We got some spiff accessories here. Looks like a little bit of a stand. Okay, yeah. Well, I've seen these stands before. I always thought these were basically just like little stools. I think they can be used as stools, so there you go. A little stand. All right. Put that off to the side. see what else we got here. Little Ziploc baggie. Little nice terry cloth cleaning cloth. With a nice little Handpan logo on it. Very soft. Alright. Shall put that there, and they even give you note stickers with numbers. And the infamous beaters. Dum, 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 dum. Hopefully I won't have to use these, so we will. Well, we're going to try it anyway, just because they gave it to us. All right, here we go. Make sure y'all can see this. Can we see it here? Let's point it down a little bit there. All right, here we go. Meter sticks off to the side. Next to our manual. And our first look here. TEMU Handpan. Oh wow. Okay. I like the box. That's kind of cool. Set off to the side there. The box is a lot lighter than I thought it would be, but when I get the pan out of the box, it actually feels about right for a pan. Yeah, buddy, I went for the fancy. Okay, I'm tempted to play it, but I'm not going to play it right now. We're going to have that journey together. They gave me a nice little. Let's see what else we got here before we get into that. And they gave us a nice little bag too. All right, so let's go ahead and move this out of the way. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on here. Boy. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, like, it's not too dirty, but it's not too clean. You can see where it's hammered. I just don't know how refined the tuning is. I'm sure my tuning friends, my maker friends can check it out, but to me, it just looks like a very few hammers. It looks like it's very lightly hammered. You might have some hammering in the interstitial space here. You can see some hammering across the notes, but to me, especially across the ding, look at the surface of the ding there. To me, it looks like it was a pressed form, and basically maybe some work around the edge of the note there, just a little bit, not too much though. Okay, and here's the other side. Black. Let's see if I can see the side. Okay, it looks to be stainless, but it's black. I've never been a fan of these rim guards here, but it's hemp or something, yeah. But we'll give it a go here, okay? Interesting. So there's our first look, and I got the Spiff Black too. So I've never had a black handpan. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, are you ready? I am ready. I am very curious. Okay. If you want, like I said, keep an eye on the tuning here. Actually, let me get you a little closer here so we can check it out. Alright. Get you a little lower here, baby. And we'll explore this together. Yeah, so you can see the notes here. Alright. Here we go. TEMU Handpan, first time playing for everybody here. Okay. I believe this would be the bass note. Looks like it. Okay, well, we're going to start off with the ding. This should be a D. Maybe a little sharp. It's got harmonics. Okay, this should be A. flat? Is that what they gave me? No, it gave me a high C. Okay, so. We got one harmonic on that one. I mean, $100, yeah. No, I'm not a fan of the timbre. The timbre is a little off. It's definitely not been worked, but. Reminiscent of old Bally Steels. If any, I know the newer ones a little different and stuff like. Any of the old schoolers out there? Thumper. Yeah. Campfire pan, you're not too worried about. Oh, you know what? I forgot. You try my rhythm rests. Alright, rhythm rests go on as such. Oh, look at that. Okay. And then boom. It almost has a gamelan type timbre to it. One last experiment before we take off here. The beaters. The beaters. Now we all know, oh by the way, Earth Passenger represent Loboro, Jimbo Presti. Thank you very much. Look them up, Spirit Percussion. The beaters. These have always been taboo in the handpan community. I mean, like it's in the name, right? Handpan, right? But I understand there are people that can't necessarily use their hands. They have limitations, arthritis, or injuries, or such. So yeah, the mounts do come in handy, but sometimes you got to make sure you have the right mount. Now these feel they got some give to them. They're rubbery, a little squishy, a little hard, but kind of like around Super Ball consistency. Okay, maybe a little softer. You can get a little squeeze. So yeah, beaters come in handy, and you play traditional steel pan with mallets. So I mean, like it's not an offshoot, but you just have to make sure, like most steel band orchestras, they have a tuner that travels with them. So when they're just beating the crap out of them, they have tuners that keep those instruments in top shape. We don't have that. Well, we do, but you have to send them away. They aren't traveling with us, and it costs money to ship, costs money because you want to take care of the tuners and the makers, make sure they're compensated in the process, and of course shipping back. Maintenance, all about, you know, taking care of the instruments and such. And when you're hitting it with your hands, you're hitting it. So you're slowly knocking it out of tune, depending on your style of play and exposure to sunlight and other elements and stuff like that. But generally speaking, yeah, eventually, you know, all handpans drift out of tune. Now with this one, I don't think it's quite stable. I'm going to check back. I'm going to play it for a few weeks, and we're going to check it again, and I'm going to give you an update a little later and see just how stable the tuning is and see where it's at, and kind of go from there. I'm also going to throw this out there. If any of my, I'm not expecting it, but if any of my maker friends out there are interested in checking out this pan, we're going to call it the HandpanLIfe TEMU pan. All right, and we'll do something maybe kind of cool with it, and see if y'all want to mess with it. But for now, we're going to check it in a few weeks after we play it for a while and see really how stable it is. But okay, here we go. Beaters. The beaters actually in this case bring out the, I think, the inherently good qualities, the better qualities of this pan. And to me, it really does have almost like a gamelan. A player would be sounding better, but you know, hey. Alright, anyway, so there it is. TEMU Handpan from China. Ordered 8 days ago. Kind of by accident. $100, $109 with tax, free delivery. Came with spiff little stand here. Came with a case. Came with beaters, a little sticker, and even a little rag. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, there's a huge debate with Chinese pans, or even just I'm not even gonna say Chinese pans because I don't want to get xenophobic here. Okay, if there's any comments that are xenophobic, I really don't want to hear them because I think that whole aspect of it is it's somewhat immature. Okay, because if we're really dealing with people and makers and quality and opportunists and capitalism, no other market is is without reproach on that, because we've had in the handpan community, other instances of people selling substandard handpans, people ripping off people, not even giving them handpans or making them wait for months, if not years. People that have run away with a bunch of other people's money for investing in handpan companies that never came to fruition. So there's a whole gray area that we're not really engaging in conversation with. Now, I know that there are makers in China, I'll say that's in China for this example, that are trying to make quality pans, and for them, I think it's going to be hard to dissolve this image that's been created because of maybe things like this or other pans that are just really, really bad, for sub-quality and, not $100. People are charging $500 to $1,000 for instruments that sound like this. You really shouldn't. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be a negative bias towards instruments from these other countries that are coming in for cheaper and for production. But let's also remember the original makers, the non-handpan makers. We won't mention them by name here, but they came from kind of like a Swiss Bernese, I guess, descent, we'll say. Used stamped shells, if I remember correctly, and they were producing their instruments by the thousands within the first couple of years, and so this whole shift from production to this art mythos to, I don't know, garner mystique or attention, or to create this mythos, which I just basically think of as glorified marketing, has been taken to another level with predatory litigation. Let's just say it, predatory litigation, and it's sad, and it's like, for what? To perpetuate this illusion of art and to try to deny other people basically the means to express themselves with this art form. When I first got into this community in 2006, I don't mean to wane and pedantic and pontificate here, but I think it needs to be said, and especially with this in my lap here, it really is bringing a lot of these thoughts to the top here. So let's engage. Back in '06, man, it was a different world. There were no other makers. There was just the one maker, and of course, it's easy enough to create this whole mystique. But nowadays, come on, man. There are so many people out there that are suffering as it is. They're having a hard enough time as it is. Times are tough, and it's hard enough to just get by. No politics, nothing like that. I don't want to get into any of that. That's just whatever. Y'all have your theories. But basic premise is art is supposed to bring a little bit of joy, a little bit of comfort, a little bit of light into your life, and we should be able to allow that. And to gatekeep with this art form, and try and cast it as more than it is or less than it is, depending on your perspective. Is it a production piece? Is it a piece of art? Is it just music for the mass? Is it something that anybody should have on their lap and be able to play? Not everybody is going to be a concert instrumentalist. I can go get a $5 melodica, or I can go get $500 accordion, $5,000 accordion, or whatever. And make music, make noise. Timbres are going to be different. Instruments are going to be different. This standard that we have, this gold standard of timbre and refinement, is all well and good, but to project it all across, when really we should be projecting empathy and understanding, and knowing that not everybody has a grand or a couple grand to pop down on good instrument. You know what I mean? So what we got to do is just like make art accessible. We have to like allow ourselves to have art available for people, even if they don't have the means or as much money to do it. So these things, these fit a place. These fit, a place in the community. And yeah, we should have area companies maybe keep track. I talked to a couple companies from China that really were trying to engage in thoughtful conversation, and I told them, I said, hey, you have to take care of what's going on in your area, and talk to these companies that are perpetuating this image that you are trying to work through. Okay, and you need to be able to somewhat police that or engage in conversation to bring these makers to not task, but maybe bring them up to education level. Like maybe everybody can make a little bit better of an instrument. Still have a good price point, and everybody be happy. Anyways, long story short, these are. I'm not unhappy for $100. Okay, for $100, I can play and be happy. Not going to play in a concert with it, but I very well might play in a concert with it because I like the timbre a little bit. I am not saying it's a beautiful concert handpan timbre, but it's cool and it's fun. That's the most important. Okay, so just don't expect to buy one of these and have it last a lifetime. It's not going to be a family heirloom. As long as you know what you're getting into, and expect, hope for the best, expect the worst, and you'll land somewhere in between. Now, of course, my initial, I guess, inclinations to talk to makers around me if I want a handpan and connect people with makers that I know that create quality instruments that will work with you. A, they'll get you what you want. B, they'll build a quality instrument that'll be stable. And C, they'll be there to support you. So if anything goes wrong with it, if you just need a tuning, or if you drop it, God forbid, and something goes wonky, get a big old dent in it, and they'll help you out. All right? And support. That's the big thing these instruments don't have at this point. These other cheaper instruments, mass-produced, they don't have the support. So just keep that in mind. If you want support, you want a relationship with the maker, and know where your instrument came from, and have the confidence that it can be fixed, definitely speak to a maker. They'll work with you, and there's all different levels. You can get a good instrument. I've seen sub $1,000, close $900 for a really good beginner instrument from some of these makers, and you can go all the way up to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 if you really want to go crazy. But hey, it's there. Everybody's different. We gotta respect that. Anyways, here we go. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. But like I said, leave the xenophobic stuff behind. I don't want to hear it. If you got good technical aspects or good thoughtful responses, please engage. And I'm sure my maker friends will engage too if there's any questions that need to be answered technically or whatever. And we're all in this together, man. Let's make music. Let's make art. Let's support each other in these endeavors. All right. Peace out. Remember, #HandpanLIfe. Yeah. Tag me wherever you go. HandpanLIfe. Living it. Peace. Yeah.